The next topic in nucleic acid metabolism is structure of DNA. Here DNA is nothing but deoxyribonucleic acid, right? DNA is the polymer of deoxyribonucleotides or simply deoxynucleotides. We know that deoxyribonucleotides are simply deoxynucleotides. Okay. Here DNA. What are the nitrogenous bases present in DNA? That may be that are adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine. These four only. Here uracil, that is present in RNA in place of thymine. Okay, uracil is only present in RNA. Okay, it is composed of monomeric units, namely deoxyadenylate means DAMP. Okay, deoxyguanylate means DGMP. Deoxycytidylate DCMP. Deoxythymidylate DDMP. Okay, these monomeric units are these. Okay, these nucleotides are present in the DNA. Okay. Next, schematic representation of polynucleotides. Polynucleotides means how these four will connect with each other in DNA. Let's see. Here, the monomeric deoxynucleotides in DNA are held together by 3'5' phosphodiester bridges. Means deoxynucleotides. What are the deoxynucleotides? Means adenine. Okay. Deoxyadenylate, deoxyguanylate, deoxycytidylate, deoxythymidylate, which are connected with each other in DNA by how? By held together by 3'5' phosphodiester bridges. Let's say this is the schematic representation of polynucleotides. Means how they are connected with each other in DNA. See, here it is the adenine is there. Adenine is nitrogen bases. Here this is the ribose sugar. You see here second carbon having not having any oxygen. So if you see in RNA there is second carbon having oxygen. That is the difference. Okay, that's why it is deoxyribose. Okay, here adenine and phosphate is there. Means this is one nucleotide. Here this is guanine, ribose sugar, deoxyribose sugar and phosphate. This is guanidylate. Okay. Here this is thymine and ribose and phosphate. Means this is one nitrogenous bases. You see how these are connected with each other. Okay, this nitrogenous base is connected with guanine through phosphate group, right? Okay, so 3'5' phosphodiester bridges means here third carbon of this nucleotide. Okay, third carbon of nucleotide will connect with fifth carbon of this nucleotide. Fifth carbon. Okay, this is fifth carbon. Okay, third carbon of nucleotide is connected with fifth carbon of another nucleotide through phosphate. That's why phosphate bridges, phosphodiester bridges. Okay, why diester means, okay, here diester bridges are formed actually between two carbon atoms of two different molecules are connected through phosphate. Okay, that is known as diester. These are diester, phosphodiester bonds. Okay, likewise these two are connected with each other. Here 3'5' phosphodiester bridges. Okay, and you can see here this is the shorthand form of oligonucleotides. Means simply we can represent like this. Okay, here 3, nothing but third carbon of this nucleotide is connected with next this is one nucleotide, this is one nucleotide, this is one nucleotide according to this. Okay, here this nucleotide having connected with this nucleotide with how here third carbon of this nucleotide present in deoxyribose sugar connected with fifth carbon of deoxyribose present in another nucleotide through the phosphate. Same, it is like that only. Here also third carbon is connected with fifth position. Third carbon is connected with fifth carbon of fifth carbon of deoxyribose present in another nucleotide through phosphate bridges. Here that one indicates, here you can observe here first carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Here first carbon it is having adenine nitrogenous bases, right? Nitrogenous base connected to the first carbon of ribose, deoxyribose. So that's why one is having adenine. Okay, here one is guanine, here one is here one is thymine. So here first carbon attached to the nitrogenous bases. Okay, this is shorthand form of oligonucleotides. Okay, then let's see Chargaff's rule of DNA composition. Chargaff rule, very important. Chargaff rule, what is meant by Chargaff rule? Okay, DNA has equal number of adenine and thymine residues. Okay, and equal number of guanine and cytosine residues. Okay, this is known as Chargaff rule of molar equivalence between purines and pyrimidine in DNA. Means here what we know that adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine, these four nitrogenous bases are present in the DNA. Okay, here what we know that adenine and connected to the thymine through hydrogen bond, and guanine is connected to the cytosine through hydrogen bond. Okay, here whatever adenine present in the DNA, same thymine will be present. If suppose if 25 adenine present, if 25 adenine nitrogen is present in DNA means same number of 25 thymine will be present. Here also if 25 guanine present means same number of cytosine present in the DNA. Okay, this is known as Chargaff rule, means molar equivalence between purine and pyrimine. Okay, here what is the purine? Adenine, guanine are the purine. Here thymine and cytosine are the pyrimidines. Okay, here equivalence is there, molar equivalence means same number of nitrogen bases are present, same number of purines and pyrimidines are present in the pyrimidines present in the DNA. That is known as Chargaff rule. That is known as Chargaff rule. Okay, single standard DNA and single standard RNA do not obey Chargaff rule. Okay, here actually we have double standard DNA only. In some organisms single standard DNA will be there. Okay, most of the double standard only. In some organisms single standard DNA will be there. Okay, here RNA, which are usually actually most of the RNA having single standard only. The single standard DNA and RNA will do not obey any Chargaff rule. Keep in mind. Okay. However, double standard DNA, which is the genetic material in certain viruses, satisfy Chargaff rule. Here, actually, most of the time RNA having single standard only, but double standard RNA, which is present in genetic material in the certain viruses, okay, that can obey Chargaff rule. That can obey Chargaff rule. If that obey Chargaff rule means they must consist double standard like this, double standard. Okay, this is one strand, this is one strand. Okay, double standard. Okay, next DNA double helix structure. Okay, means DNA having double helix structure. Okay, the double helical structure of DNA was proposed by James Watson and Francis Crick. Watson and Crick. We know that this double helix structure of DNA was proposed by Watson and Crick in the year of 1953. For that discovery, they got Nobel Prize in 1962. Okay, this elucidation of DNA structure is considered as milestone in the era of modern biology. Okay, this elucidation is milestone in the era of modern biology. The structure of DNA double helix is comparable to twisted ladder. Okay, it can be compared with twisted ladder. Okay, next let's see the silent features of Watson-Crick model of DNA. Okay, what are the silent features? Okay, how it will be represented? Okay, this point I can explain by using this diagram. This is the DNA, Watson-Crick model DNA. Okay, double helix form. Okay, you see here the DNA is right-handed double helix. DNA is right-handed double helix. Okay, it consists 2 polydeoxyribonucleotide chains. 2 polydeoxyribonucleotide chains means 2 chains having many of deoxyribonucleotides. Okay, are 2 strands. 2 polydeoxyribonucleotides are 2 strands twisted around each other on a common axis. You can see this is the DNA structure. Okay, this is one strand, and this is one more strand. Means DNA is forming with two strands or 2 polydeoxyribonucleotide chains. These two are connected how? Twisted around each other. Here twisting, both are overlapping with each other. Okay, these two are twisted around each other on common axis. This is okay, first point. Next, these two strands are anti-parallel. Anti-parallel means opposite, like anti-parallel. That is, one strand runs in 5 to 3 dash direction while the other in 3 to 5 dash direction. Okay, you can see here these are the two strands we know. Okay, one strand is 5 to 3 dash, means you can see 5 to 3 dash. Okay, it will go on 5 to 3 dash, and other is 3 to 5 dash. Both are having anti-parallel direction. Okay, 3 to 5 dash. And next, the width of double helix is 20 angstroms or 2 nanometer. 1 nanometer equal to 10 angstroms. So width of double helix is 20 angstroms. You can see here width. Okay, width of this is 2 nanometer or 20 angstroms. Okay, next, each ton of helix is 34 angstroms or 3.4 nanometer with 10 pairs of nucleotides, each pair placed at a distance about 3.4 angstroms. Okay, each turn of helix, okay, you can consider each turn of this is, okay, this is one helix up to this. Okay, up to this is one helix. It is having how much? 3.4, each turn of helix having 3.4 nanometer. Okay, 3.4 nanometer or 34 angstroms. Okay, in each helix, okay, each turn of helix having how many? 10 nucleotide bases are there. Means here adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. Okay, everywhere for each turn of helix, okay, it is having 10 nucleotide, 10 nucleotide, 10 pairs of nucleotides. Means adenine connected with thymine, that is one pair. Guanine connected to cytosine, one pair. And adenine again connected to thymine, like that. Okay, that is having 10 pairs each turn of helix. Okay, and okay, here these lines are representing only connection between, okay, adenine and thymine or guanine and cytosine only. Here I represented like this: adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, adenine, guanine, cytosine. Okay, okay, here what I am saying, okay, each turn of helix having how many? 10 nitrogenous bases. Okay, 10 nucleotide, 10 pairs of nucleotide, right? Each pair having distance between 0.34 nanometer, 0.34 nanometer or 3.4 angstroms. Okay, each pair, here this is one pair, this is one pair having distance how much? 0.34. This pair and this pair having 0.34 nanometer or 3.4 angstroms. Okay, next, the two polynucleotide chains are not identical but complementary to each other due to base pairing. Means these two pairs, the two strands, okay, what I am saying, okay, these two strands are, okay, sorry, the two polynucleotide chains are not identical. This is one polynucleotide chain, this is one polynucleotide chain. These two are not similar, not identical, because, okay, because they have complementary base pairing. Means suppose if adenine is there, means here it is having thymine, here guanine is there, means it is having cytosine here on this. If this strand consists guanine, means this strand will consist cytosine. If this strand consists okay, adenine, means it will consist thymine. If it consists T, means it will consist adenine. Means both are having opposite complementary base pairing is there. If here it is A, means here next there also the other strand also doesn't have any A. Okay, here A is connected with T only, that must consist T, like that. That's why these two are not identical because of complementary base pairing. Here complementary base pairing means matched pairs, opposite. A is connected with T, G is connected with C, here T is connected with A and G is connected with C, like that. Complementary base pairs are okay, happen in DNA. Okay, next, the two strands, okay, the two strands are held together by hydrogen bonds formed by complementary base pairs. Okay, the AT pair has 2 hydrogen bonds while GC pair has 3 hydrogen bonds. For representing, I see you can see here IA double one, here 2, okay, 2 bonds are there. T connected with 2 bonds. Here guanine connected with cytosine with 3 bonds. Here all these are hydrogen bonds. You can observe here, okay, the two strands are held together by hydrogen, okay, hydrogen bond, right? For suppose if here it is adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine is there, means okay, adenine is connected with thymine, right? Everywhere, okay, you can observe here adenine is connected with thymine by 2 hydrogen bonds. Okay, how these two are connected with each other? By okay, every pair having every strand is having their okay, their own, okay, the nucleotide chains, polydeoxyribonucleotide chains. Okay, but each other will connected by hydrogen bonds. Here A is connected with thymine by 2 hydrogen bonds and guanine and cytosine connected by 3 hydrogen bonds. 3 hydrogen bonds. Okay, that's why GC pair has 3 hydrogen bonds. That's why GC is means GC is stronger by about 50% than AT. Here why here the guanine and cytosine are connected with 3 hydrogen bonds, right? That's why it is 50% stronger than adenine and thymine pair, because it is having only 2 hydrogen bonds. Okay, the hydrogen bonds are formed between purine and pyrimidine only. Here this connection is only formed between purine and pyrimidine only. You can see adenine is a purine, here thymine is pyrimidine only, guanine is purine, guanine is pyrimidine, and cytosine is pyrimidine only. Here connection is okay, happening between one purine and pyrimidine only. Here no two purines or no two pyrimidines are connected with each other. Okay, connection happening between means hydrogen bonds are formed between one purine and pyrimidine only. Okay, that is the base pair. We know that adenine, guanine are purines, cytosine, thymine are pyrimidines only. Okay, next, what is next point? The complementary base pairing in DNA helix proves Chargaff rule, because the content of adenine equals to the thymine, guanine equals to that of cytosine. We know that if anything that is proving, that is okay, that proves the Chargaff rule means equal number of nucleotides must be there. So DNA having equal number of nucleotides, because if adenine equals to the thymine and guanine also equals to the cytosine. Okay, whatever the adenine present, the same thing of thymine will be there. Okay, next point, next silent feature. The genetic information resides on one of two strands. Okay, that is known as template strand or sense strand. Okay, here we know that DNA having two templates or two strands. Okay, here genetic information only having out of two, genetic information only having one strand only. Okay, that is known as template strand or sense strand. The opposite strand is known as anti-sense strand. And okay, this is important point. Here this point, okay, this point is useful for next topic, DNA replication. Okay, means okay, here out of two strands of DNA, the genetic information or heredity information, okay, okay, genes, okay, all are having on only one strand only. That strand is known as template strand or sense strand. The opposite strand is known as anti-sense strand. You can for better understanding purpose, I have taken this diagram here. You can, this is the parent DNA having two, okay, two templates. This is one, this is one chain, this is okay, this is one strand, this is another strand. Okay, from the parent, for representing both are representing with different color, you need to observe. Okay, you can see this is parent DNA, this is daughter DNA. Means the genetic information we will get from our parents only, right? According to this statement, what is saying? Out of two strands, only one strand having genetic information. That strand is known as template strand or sense strand. How you can see? Here, parent DNA, it is having two templates. Okay, out of two templates, okay, only one here out of two templates from parent, one okay, one template is directly comes to our body. Okay, directly comes to their sons or daughters. You can see here, these two are different colors, right? Here this template is directly coming to the sons or daughter. This is known as okay, daughter DNA. Okay, for suppose you can see, okay, daughter, this is directly comes from the parent. This is daughter DNA. Here this template is newly synthesized in our body. How? For suppose here I have taken this. Okay, this template is directly coming to us from our parents, right? Here for understanding purpose, I have taken it is having adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. Okay, what are the nitrogenous bases are there? Okay, here same thing. Okay, same thing. This adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine A, and same thing I have written here. Means the genetic information is coming from our parents. Out of two strands, only one strand. Okay, that indicates the genetic information. Okay. Here this strand is known as template strand or sense strand. Okay, this strand is newly synthesized in our body. This is known as anti-sense strand. Anti-sense means, suppose we know that here adenine is there. Same matching nucleotide it is. Matching nucleotide that is synthesized in our body. What is adenine is connected with thymine, right? That thymine is okay, synthesized here. Next thymine is connected with okay, adenine. Same cytosine here is there connected with G with 3 hydrogen bonds. Like the same, this template is synthesized in our body according to the this according to this template strand. Like this. This concept is very useful for better understanding of DNA replication. Okay, that's why I used this diagram. Okay, next, the double helix as a major and minor grooves. Okay, major and minor grooves along the phosphodiester backbone. Okay, here from the DNA, we know that from the DNA indirectly it is useful in the synthesis of proteins. Okay, you can keep in mind. Okay. Okay, here proteins interact with DNA at this grooves without disrupting the base pairs and double helix. Here you can observe, here this is the minor groove and major groove. here minor groove nothing but means the phosphodiester backbone, it is very close to the minor groove. Okay, this major groove means phosphodiester backbone is too far away. That's why minor and major groove. Okay, here proteins are interacting with these grooves only. These grooves only. Okay, without interrupting the base pairs and without interrupting the helix form. Okay, this is about structure. This is the DNA structure. These are the silent features of DNA. Okay, thank you very much.